Greetings, Crop Corner community, and welcome back to another Garden Revival episode, because today we're tackling a problem I see over and over: raised bed soil that's gone dead. After years of back-to-back planting without proper care, your soil can lose its spark. Nutrients depleted, structure compacted, biology weakened. But that doesn't mean it's irreparable. Stick with me through these 5 restorative steps, and by season's end, you'll have soil that again feels alive. Let's get right into it. Before we can heal, we need diagnosis. Overplanting without rest or replenishment gradually strips away nutrients, destroys the delicate balance of microbes, and compacts soil structure. In a closed system like a raised bed, there's no natural replenishment from surrounding earth. Some telltale signs include soil that feels heavy and dense, poor drainage, slow plant growth even with fertilizing, a sour or stale smell, and little evidence of earthworms or life in the soil. When your soil feels like a brick when you squeeze it, it's screaming for help. Step 1 is to clear out dead plant debris and roots. First, you want to eject last season's remains. Go ahead and pull out old plants, including the roots, stems, and dead leaves. These often harbor pests, diseases, and honestly, just take up valuable space. You can leave them in the compost pile, unless they showed serious disease, or just discard them altogether. And don't just yank off the top. Be sure to dig down and remove those old root masses too. Once everything's cleared out, it's time to loosen the top 6 to 8 inches with a garden fork or spade. This step really allows the next amendments to integrate properly. If you find that some parts feel rock hard, you may want to consider double digging. So, you dig a trench, loosen the lower layer, add some organic matter, and then backfill it. Double digging is super helpful for restoring aeration, especially in soil that's become degraded. Step 2 is to rebuild your soil structure. Basically, fluff it up, aerate it, and reset its porosity. Even the best nutrients won't do much if the soil is smothered. So, now we focus on rebuilding the architecture. Add some porous, lightweight materials, things like perlite or coarse sand for drainage, coconut coir or fine bark for structure, or even rice hulls if you have them. A good rule of thumb is to aim for 10 to 20% by volume of your raised bed mix as aeration amendment. And if you have access to mineral soil, like sandy or loamy topsoil, mixing in 30 to 50% can provide a stable base that resists continual collapse. Organic matter breaks down over time, but mineral soil is much more durable. You know, many guides suggest including a solid fraction of mineral soil to prevent your raised bed from gradually sinking year after year. Once your additions are in, just turn and mix everything thoroughly. You really want a consistent blend, not pockets of pure sand or compost. Step 3 is to restore nutrients with compost and amendments. With the structure now rebuilt, it's time to feed the system. Compost is your foundational restore tool. Go ahead and spread a 2 to 3 inch layer over the bed, or blend compost to equal about 25 to 30% of the soil volume, and mix it in. That's going to provide macronutrients, micronutrients, humus, and introduce beneficial microbes. If you have extra nutrient gaps, maybe from soil tests or just poor fertility, supplement with organic fertilizer or amendments. Worm castings are lightweight but potent. A half-inch top layer mixed into the upper soil can really help kickstart life. Biochar, when it's pre-inoculated with compost tea or worm castings, helps retain nutrients and provides habitat for microbes. And don't forget slow-release sources like rock dust or green sand to replenish trace minerals lost over many growing seasons. Blend thoroughly, so the amendments are nice and uniform. After mixing, thoroughly water the soil to settle it and begin microbial activation. Aim to moisten the soil throughout, but not drown it. Step 4. Rest the soil and allow biological recovery. This is the healing period that many skip, but it's crucial. Give your revived soil a rest for 1 to 2 weeks before planting. This margin allows microbial populations to grow, nutrient cycles to reestablish, and any hot organic amendments to mellow so they won't shock young roots. During this rest, if you like, you can cover the soil with light mulch or ground cover to protect structure, reduce erosion, and maintain moisture. If disease was a concern previously, consider solarizing. Cover the bed with clear plastic in full sun for 4 to 6 weeks to heat the soil and kill pathogens and weed seeds. Only do this if you truly need sterilization. Otherwise, it also wipes out beneficial life. Step 5. Use cover crops or green manures to keep the soil alive. Once your soil is restored, you'll want to maintain its vitality between production cycles. After harvest, plant cover crops like clover, rye, or vetch. Their roots help aerate the soil, suppress weeds, and when you cut them down, they return plenty of biomass. Alternatively, you can just throw down a layer of shredded leaves or straw as mulch. These break down gradually and feed the soil over time. In fall, top dress your beds with compost or a compost soil mix, about 2 to 3 inches thick, and let it weather into the soil over winter. Many gardeners feed their beds in fall and then again in spring, which is really the ideal replenishment cycle. Rotation is also key. You want to avoid planting the same heavy feeders in the same spot year after year. So, shift your leafy greens, legumes, and root crops to different areas to help break pest cycles and balance nutrient use. So, to put it all together, you'll want to begin restoration in fall or early spring. First, remove old plants and debris, then rough loosen the soil. Next, mix in aeration materials, mineral soil if possible, compost, and amendments. After that, water everything in and let it rest. For the off-seasons, plant cover crops, apply mulch, and make sure to rotate your crops each year. And each spring, top dress and mix lightly to maintain vigor. That's really the key to keeping your soil healthy year after year. One really useful habit is to add 2 or 3 inches of compost or a compost soil mix each spring and fall. This helps compensate for settling and the losses from organic decomposition. That way, your bed won't shrink year after year. And just a heads up, don't overload on fertilizer. Too much is honestly just as bad as too little. With balanced input, consistency, and gentle turning instead of heavy tilling, you'll help preserve the life in your soil. Over many seasons, a bed that's well tended will become deeply fertile and resilient. Your once exhausted raised bed can absolutely come back to life. After years of overplanting, the soil might feel dead, but by removing debris, rebuilding structure, recharging nutrients, letting it rest for recovery, and giving it continuous care with cover crops, you'll start to see that crumbly living soil you love again. If you enjoyed this guide and want more tailored how-tos from seed to harvest, please subscribe to Crop Corner and share this video with other growers. Let's bring more gardens back to life together. Hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and, grow boldly.